You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asori Balde. We are back again on another edition. Wherever you're watching us from, a wonderful morning to you and your loved ones. To our followers in the Philippines and UK, the Leeds, and of course Manchester. We are saying good morning to you. How are you doing? And on the platform, I am with Mr. Didrame. Good morning.
Good morning. You mentioned Leeds and Manchester in England. You shouldn't forget Birmingham.
Birmingham.
A huge Gambian community in Birmingham. I'm not sure how that happened, but it's a fact. There are thousands of Gambians.
Thousands of Gambians in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Nice. Our newspaper review guest is no other than Momodu Mboj. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ibrahim. And Ade? I'm glad to be here.
Glad that you're here. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be here. Today we are going to change change the format of the program. Today we are not starting with our African code, but we'll go straight to our second segment of the program. That's migration activists on deportation of Gambians from Germany. We have Mr. Yaya Sonko on the line from Germany, and he will take us through. Good morning, Mr. Sonko. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing? Have you taken your coffee this morning? Yeah, so we'll come back to Mr. Sonko. You said in Birmingham you have a lot of Gambians living there. I think this is sort of a nature of Gambians. If you go to the United States as well, there is a particular area where you have a lot of Gambians. Is it Seattle?
Seattle.
Seattle.
It's not just a Gambian thing. It's a thing. In some countries you go, there are places where they call Little China, Little Italy. You go to London, for example, you go to Southwark. It's kind of little Sierra Leone. Apparently it has the largest collection of Sierra Leoneans in Southwark. In fact, a Sierra Leonean was once the mayor of Southwark. Southwark includes places like Peckham, which New Cross, Elephant and Castle, they're all part of Southwark, and they're huge communities. You go to Peckham Market, for example, there are Sierra Leonean shops, there are Gambian shops there. And you tend to find this in many countries, that, people from certain countries. You go to America, you go to Maryland, it's like you're still in Sierra Leone. Maryland. Lots of Sierra Leoneans, lots of Gambians, lots of Nigerians, lots of West Africans, in fact. So yeah, it's not just the Gambians in Seattle.
Yes. So let's try connecting Mr. Sonko again. Mr. Sonko, good morning. Yes, Mr. Sonko, good morning. We're talking to you.
Can you hear us?
It's a pleasure to be here with you all today.
Yes. The issue of migration, it's a very complex one. And, migration, most of the time when you talk about it, it brings a lot of controversies. And, people have different ways of understanding when it comes to deportation as well. So we've seen an article recently on the newspaper. You were featured on one of the newspapers in the Gambia, migration activists on deportation of Gambians from Germany. Can you please take us through? Well, yes.
I have been featured in newspapers in Gambia with regards to current updates in EU for the specific Germany. The last publication that I made was very early morning deportation. This morning, they have early had 20 Gambian nationals from EU arrived in Gambia. Both of these this was a chartered flight. Both of these are from Germany.
All right. It's like the information he's sharing there. It's like 20 Gambians on a chartered flight arrived in the Gambia, and that's the current situation there. I mean, the reason why you're getting his audio like that, he's in the train. I think he's traveling to work or something, but he is still managing to talk to us on QTV this morning. So, can you tell us the feelings? I mean, what have you derived from the people, especially Gambians living in Germany, on this?
Well, the situation is very worrying. Like example, most of these people I met them personally prior to them, so they were all worried. Some of them are in there, just like during their work time, and of course some were, in schools. A few were like in prison. So basically, these are a combination of categories. Some are employed, some unemployed, some are, of course, accused of committing crimes.
Yeah.
And then this sort of Gambians is worrying. But almost 4 good years, Gambia you have been facing mass deportation. In 2023 alone, Gambia received 13 charter flights from the Union.
13.
That is amounts to more than 600 through our office. We count about 680 Gambian people from European Union in 2022. So basically, it is a lot.
Mr. Ade, he talks about the issue of deportation right now. In Germany, it's like a very serious one. And he is one of the activists. I mean, he talked about, the reason why some are deported because of crimes and certain things. But, I mean, do you think it's fair to just be deported like that, or they have their own way of doing their own thing to be able to know this person should be deported?
I think you started the conversation by saying it's complex. And it's complex because in Europe, in Germany, in Holland, and in some other countries, a lot of right-wing racist parties are on the rise. And so to appease some of these people and steal some votes from them, European governments have taken to deporting people. But if somebody has committed a crime in another country, and particularly if they're there illegally, it's fairly normal for them to be deported. But yeah, so it's, like you said, it's a complex
Yes,
one.
Mr. Sonko, have you engaged the authorities? And from their own side, what can you tell us? His camera has just gone dark.
I mean, it's a
Yes,
challenging connection anyway.
He's struggling to get us, but at least we were able to get some information from him regarding the issue of deportation and migrants, and we'll try to get him again.
Yeah, it's come up before.
Yes.
I mean, when I was here newly in 2019, there was an instance where 300 plus were deported from Germany, and I remember I became aware of it because there was a protest march outside our office of people saying they should not be sent back. But the German authorities were saying that these were people who had arrived there irregularly or had been there illegally or had committed crimes, and they said we don't want them in our country. Gambians, on the other hand, were very sympathetic towards the deportees and said they should be allowed to stay no matter what. It's a difficult one because for most Gambians I spoke to, all they could see was that these people, some of them were working, they were sending remittances, and so that was enough to say because of that they should be kept there. But if you're the German authorities and somebody is in your country illegally, to be blunt, I think you have every right to deport them.
Exactly. Mr. Mboj, migration of people from one place to another in search of greener pasture. Well, it's becoming very serious, and the youth are still embarking on migration.
And do you know something, Mr. Balde? It has always been, in many ways, people have always migrated.
Yeah, of course.
Some people say that actually the history of culture is really the history of migration in many ways. So these things will always happen.
Yes.
But as Ade has said, in Europe, perhaps in the West, in the US, perhaps maybe in Australia, the only political dynamic now really is immigration.
The kind of anti-immigrant sentiment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is what is driving.
This is really what is driving their politics. And in democratic politics, sometimes you pander to these populist feelings, otherwise you lose the election.
True.
Margaret Thatcher did it in Britain when she...
Mr. Sonko is back on the line.
Let's hope it's a better line.
Yes, Mr. Sonko, welcome back. Yes, I want to know if you
before I support you.
Yes, were you able to engage some of the authorities in Germany? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I was able to engage the government. The here. Government you they are just taking a possibility to look at just like that. There must be an agreement. There must be bilateral pressure. So what is clear and what is official is the Gambian government had an agreement with European Union as far as 2018. This agreement is called the Good Practice document. The Good Practice agreement. And I think to add the Muslim Foreign Affairs, even Tangara last press conference, he was trying to clarify what that good practice means. So basically, the Gambian government had an agreement with the European Union. That agreement is the good practice agreement. It is for the Gambia to collaborate with the European Union, even their citizens. So of course, the Gambian government would receive some evidence from the agreement like you have to say the German police, our government police officers, equipping them with equally, they have been some the Gambian government has given millions of euros for the integration of their citizens in the Gambia. So, and what your colleague said, this deportation, this whole deportation problem, it has some political motivation. You have to understand that in Europe, political parties get more and more.
Yeah.
And, they are messaging basically,
Yes, the line is terrible. Come on.
Yes.
Stop it. The line is bad.
Mr. Sonko, the line is terrible, but I mean, those that are well documented, those who have documents, I think those people are not deported. It depends when you entered someone's country and you did not follow the rules and the regulation. I think those authorities of that country, they have the right to tell you, I mean, this is the rules of our country, and if you cannot abide by them, we would be able to, I mean, deport you back to your country. Well, I think we are. Don't you think sometimes we are consumed by our feelings of being deported?
In theory, when we talk about asylum or when we talk about immigration, the international laws, there are international and there are also national laws. And in Germany, if an immigrant who has an asylum seeker, if you receive such information, likewise in Sweden, likewise in Holland, if you receive certain notification procedures, or stay for certain of years in these countries, there are national laws that back you, that support you because of that integration that you receive, because of your level of integration. So yes, in theory, asylum is except asylum chance, you should live in Chile.
Does that apply in Germany? Does
Yes,
that
absolutely, yes.
apply in Germany?
In fact, this movement in Germany, when they were in power last year, they changed so many laws in terms of asylum and integration. Because of those laws and regulations are issued from January, March 2023 now, more than 1,002 deputies have been documented officially.
The line is terrible. I can't even understand what he's saying.
You can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Mr. Sonko, so finally, what do you have to say to our viewers and some of the authorities listening, probably even in Germany? You might have some of them watching this program. Oh, okay. Mr. Sonko is gone, and well, he was trying to put across some of the.
It would have been good. It would have been good to hear the thing,
exactly,
because it was a poor line.
Yeah, it was, he said he was on a train.
Yeah,
I think going to
because
work. So
all the trains now have Wi-Fi.
Yes.
They have free Wi-Fi.
Yes.
So normally, but obviously that's quite challenging. But it would be good to get him on again.
Exactly.
Where maybe just a straight phone call. And we can talk to him.
Well, like I said, sometimes there are these countries, they put their rules and regulations. I mean, if you want to live in my country, you have to dance by my tune. I mean, what are my rules and regulations?
Yeah.
But if you don't follow the rules and regulations, if you're deported at the end of the time, I mean, you blame the government. You start blaming the government.
I've always found it quite extraordinary that Gambians are blaming their government for agreeing to take back their own citizens. What they want is for the government to refuse to take back their own citizens. Honestly, I think it's a nonsense. I've never.
Well, if you give me my citizens, if you give me my citizens, they are Gambians. You want them to come back to my country. Yeah. I mean, I won't refuse my citizens.
But that's what people want.
That's the
protest.
They want the government to refuse accepting Gambians.
Yeah.
Yes. I did something like that, didn't it?
There was a time
in Germany. There was a period he was trying to do.
People use that example a lot.
Yeah. Perhaps the idea is that sort of to use it as a political strategy, to leverage it. We know how much you people really want to get rid of these foreigners in your country. So how much are you willing to give? For us to accept.
Well, that's the allegation. They're
Yes.
saying essentially the government has accepted money
Yes.
to take back their own citizens. The truth is, whether the government accepts money or they don't accept money, they are your citizens, and they will send them back, or they will try and send them back, to you. And but here, very much the sentiment is we should refuse to take them back and just,
But one thing, we need to be realistic, Mr. Ade. I mean, at some point, an individual interest cannot overshadow, an entire nation's interest as well. You understand? Because these European countries, I mean, I think they put their rules and regulations to a particular country. Take this money, and you'll be able to at least support these people that have been sent back to your country. And we've seen they are doing that. I
mean, in the Gambia, there's a lot of sympathy for the deportees to the extent that when this first came up, as I said, I was here in 2019, it came up, there was not a single person in the office, our office here at QTV, who thought that these people should be deported, regardless of what they'd done. The people were saying, well, they've made a life there, let them stay there, which is fine if you're Gambian. But if you're German and you don't want them there, I don't think it's what you want to hear. But that's how it is. I mean, here there's a lot of sympathy for them. Yeah.
That is true. And then, but again, Eddie, you also realize that when it comes to the front way, if you can call it that way, they've made it so difficult.
It's extremely difficult.
To go
and that's why people choose the so-called back way.
People choose the back way. So imagine even with stuff like asylum. I mean, the first country you get to where you can seek asylum, that's where you should do it. If you go through that country, come to ours, no. In Britain, for instance. So they've made it really so difficult.
Well, and in Britain, of course, they're now planning to start sending people to Rwanda. People who've gone there to claim asylum, to claim, refugee status or whatever. And again, I use the word you use, complex. In times past, a lot of the people who fled the Gambia during the time of Yahya Jammeh did so because they claimed they were fleeing an authoritarian regime. Now it's not the case, and I don't think anybody believed that really. A lot of them were not. They were just, it was economics that was driving it, and it's economics that's driving it now. And as Mr. Mboch says, migration will always happen. It's part of the natural course of things. And for me, I have to say, I have no sympathy with these European nations when they try and sort of send people back, and none whatsoever. These are the people who went around the world colonizing, enslaving people. You know what? They just have to suck it up, really, because really, this is kind of our revenge. You know, honestly, I mean, I feel quite sort of radical about this. That I've got no sympathy for these people when they say, oh, you know, and some of them, they don't even realize when they say things like, you know, when I was growing up in UK, you'd have people saying, you know, my grandfather didn't fight in the war for black people to come here. And I said, well, actually, my own grandfather fought in the same stupid war on behalf of your stupid country. You know, so why shouldn't I live here? Well, so, you know, they don't even know their own history.
Well, it depends. Now we are civilized, Mr. Ali. I mean, things have changed. I mean, you know, during colonial days, we can say, okay, the civilization was minimal. But nowadays, nowadays, I mean, there's no slavery again. We are not open to olden day slavery.
There are different types of modern day slavery. I wouldn't use the word civilized.
Yeah. So I mean, deportation. It's just a very complex topic. When you talk about migration, you mentioned deportation. Especially, sometimes I tend to think it's only Gambians that are deported, because of the huge noise that you hear surrounding it.
I mean, in Sierra Leone, I can't imagine people taking to the streets. As I've mentioned this case again, there were about 100 people. They all had white T-shirts. I can't remember what the T-shirt said, but it's something about no deportation. I can't imagine that happening in Sierra Leone. For example, if Sierra Leoneans were to be deported, I cannot imagine Sierra Leoneans taking to the street saying to our government, don't take them back, and you Germans, you're wicked people, send them back. I can understand, I can sympathize, because somebody's there, they're working, they're sending remittances, and you know, they're building a house here. You can see why people would say don't send them back, because if they come back, what are they going to do here? You know, there's probably not a job for them and so on. But you know, for the Germans, you know, they have their own reasons, and some of it is economic, some of it is not. It's just racist. Because you go to somewhere like Italy, there are a lot of people who are not registered, working on farms, picking fruit. It's very, very low paid. It's lower pay than any Italian would accept. And yet people from Africa go there and they work on these farms. They're picking fruit, strawberries, apples, whatever. And they're not documented. And, you know, if people rise up and if things get really tough in Italy and Italians suddenly think, hang on, I haven't got a job. I don't mind that job, which I wouldn't have taken last year. They would deport those people.
Why not I go pick fruits?
I'll go and pick fruits and get that low wage just to earn a living. But when they're not in that position, they will take us in. Germany, Spain, Portugal, Italy, all of them, they do it. And then when it gets to a crunch where people are making a noise about foreigners this, foreigners that, they descend upon them and they start sending them back.
Well, one thing I am certain, and I am 100% sure, nobody can stop migration.
It's an impossibility.
That can't stop. Even if you deport people, they will still go back. You know, I've seen people that are deported and now they are back again. They've gone back.
You see, people will tell you, I know somebody who drowned last week, but I'm going next week on that same trip. So, you know, it would never stop. It would never stop.
So, gentlemen, let us not forget our African code. Mr. Mboch, you said you don't want to hear the pulley rope, but it will still come on this program. The pulley rope cuts the well stone.
I have no idea
the pulley rope
what this refers to.
Cuts the well stone.
What is a well stone?
What's a well stone? I know what a pulley rope is.
Looking for it. Yeah, I know what a pulley rope is. That's it.
And how does it cut the well stone? And what is a well stone?
What is a well stone?
Look, I'm not even going to attempt this.
And
I don't even know what it means.
That's a Swahili.
It's
a Swahili.
Maybe we need a Swahili speaker.
It's a Swahili.
to interpret it.
How does Swahili sound? Is it like French or Portuguese?
Have you ever heard?
No, it sounds like Swahili.
Hakuna Matata.
That's Swahili.
Oh, nice! I love that. Hakuna Matata.
So I know
it means It will be all right, something like that. Don't worry, it will be all right. Hakuna Matata.
So maybe next time
well,
we'll choose
I
a
don't.
that we understand.
I am not sure if I can interpret the,
the
proverb, but I will try my level best. You understand? The pulley rope. Mr. Boy said I shouldn't say pulley.
Pulley.
Yeah, that's it.
All my life, all my childhood, I've been saying the pulley. No, pulley is local language. Pulley.
No, it's not local language. It's just wrong.
That's
it's plain wrong.
Anyway, it's not a local language word.
Okay, the pulley rope cuts the well stone. I mean, it's telling you gradually you will get there. Step by step, little steps matter.
What's the well stone?
The well stone, you know, when you talk about pulley, it has to do with
a well.
A well, something that you pull.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Always.
The rope can cut the well stone.
Where is the well stone in the well?
Let's take a look at it. You see the rope and the pulley.
Yes,
when the rope lands on top of the well stone, at some point
you haven't told me where the well stone is. Where is it?
Look at the well, Mr. Ade. Are you not seeing?
So that's
okay. Just look at that
round.
The wall around.
Yes, that's the well stone.
That's the well stone.
Yes,
so when it lands on the well stone, no, gradually when you are pushing it, all the time you are pulling it, it can cut it. Have you ever seen where a rope cut a big wood?
We've all seen it.
Okay, so it's the same equation.
It's like a drop of water that keeps dropping on a rock.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Eventually it will wear down that rock. It might take centuries.
But
I still don't know what a well stone is. And you haven't told me.
Well, there is well, there is stone. When you put it together, it's well stone.
Absolutely.
Mr. Mboy, how
well put.
Well and stone together is, I mean. All right, anyway. So let's proceed. I think we have some of the papers here.
Okay, do we need a commercial break or not?
Yes, let's take a short break. After the break, then we do the paper review. We'll be back. Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience. Looking for the perfect place.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders.
You are watching QTV this morning, and we are back again. Now let's move on to the stories. I mean, we have on the Fourier newspaper, the State Guard Commander Colonel Mboub laid to rest, and you know, very sad. At this time, you know, we are sending our heartfelt condolence to the family. it's very difficult to lose a loved one. And he was promoted not long ago to colonel.
To colonel, yes.
Yes. So we believe we will get someone to at least fill his shoes. I mean, it's very important.
And I wish we had the footage, because some of our colleagues actually attended the funeral yesterday afternoon and evening, but I'm not sure whether it's in the system. But yes, some of our colleagues who were studying at university also knew him, because he was on course at university as well. And you go online and just hundreds of tributes to the man. Which tells you something about the type of person that he was. So,
absolutely, and for some of us, I think he was named after his namesake. There was an old Abdullah Mbub, former Inspector General of Police.
Right.
So it seems it's a family that's been in sort of in security service, one form or another.
And we've got footage of him at the Independence, that has been shown on QTV over the year or so, at the independence commemorations and so on. So yeah, I mean, as you said, condolences obviously to the family to lose somebody so young and who seemed to be on the up in terms of his career. May his soul rest in peace. Yeah.
All right. I mean, the Sukuta Jabang.
Is there a reason why you're avoiding the arrested Marikasa villages released on
Marakisa?
This is the big headline. Well, on Foroya. You started with Foroya.
The reason why I did not want us to delve into it, because I did not get the story in full.
Okay.
We need to delve into the story to understand why the villagers were arrested. Otherwise,
well, because the reason I say this is because on Foroya they say arrested at Marakisa.
Yes.
Then in the corner it says what is happening at Marakisa.
So we need to understand what's happening.
So we
in
need to
Marakisa,
know. Yes.
So I mean, let's talk about this. The taxi driver testifies in police shooting case. That's the Sukuta Jabang incident, and still the court case is still on. And I discussed with someone. He alleged that, I mean, some of the evidence have been not been found. I mean, the pistol that was found on the ground, there was the time it was presented, and they said the fingerprints were tampered at some point. They cannot get the actual fingerprints on the pistol. So it's like being able to preserve evidence. It's also a problem. I think we need to work on that, if at all that's the case.
It's a challenge. I mean, when the matter happened, we saw some of the potential evidence being handled in public. And we remember the comments, people saying, don't we have proper forensics? Shouldn't this be in a bag? Shouldn't people be wearing gloves when they're handling stuff of this nature? So that's not a surprise that these questions are coming up again, and I think we need to look at them, because it could have potentially serious consequences if evidence is tampered with unwittingly. It's not deliberately, but because you didn't wear gloves or because it wasn't handled in the right way, a case could be lost.
That's it. When we saw that, we thought, "Whoa, really? How could you possibly do that?"
But brandishing weapon and so on.
Yes, but still, with the court case, I'll be careful. What counts as evidence?
As evidence, sure.
You know what I mean? How these things are dealt with legally. I'm sure would be quite different from us lay people, how we see it and the like. So I'll be very careful, just wait for the verdict before.
I mean, and when I hear stories that, the gun has no longer been found or whatever, I've not seen or heard that other than on social media. So, I don't recall it coming up in court. But
well, it's still in a court case, so we just leave it to the court, I mean, for them to decide. Assembly impressed with SIS transformation, that's the National Assembly, impressed with the SIS transformation. I mean, I'm not quite sure of a lot of transformation. Probably maybe people disappearing without a trace. Maybe that's a transformation that you can.
That's a big transformation.
That you can say, okay, all right. Well, we are doing good, on this one.
But have you heard any instances of them abusing their power since recently?
Well,
I mean, when you listen to the
I cannot say.
TRRC. No, I mean, that's a transformation.
You know,
and also it's the point. Newspaper also says SIS receives clean bill of health from the National Assembly Defense Committee. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a transformation. I don't think sometimes we take it for granted that these things happen, and you know, some of these transformations, they're not dramatic, so you don't see them, that's something that is kind of brandished or a whole lot of noise made about. But if you look at where they were and the allegations and accusations to where we are now, that is the transformation. And if people read the National Assembly Defense Committee's report, they list why they think that they've given them a clean bill of health and why they think there has been a transformation.
Well,
so
you know,
I would say to people, go and read that.
The SIS, I mean, you know, the then NIA, I think they needed to build that confidence with the people again, the people of this country, because they've caused a lot of pains previously during Jammeh's era. When you mention the NIA, that's it for you. I mean, people won't have that confidence to get close to you anymore. So I think if they are given this, I mean, you know, confidence again that they are transforming, or they've already transformed, probably it's a correct for them.
Obviously. I mean, the threshold was just so low.
It was low, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was extremely low. So it really wouldn't have really taken much for the SIS to improve things. All you needed to do was just stop doing certain things. Nobody is even asking you to construct anything, to come up with anything new. Just stop doing certain things. Arbitrary arrest, just stop doing that. Yeah. And by just stopping, you improve, you know, your standing, your stature, and all of that. For me, it will be interesting to know, you know, we're talking about all these reforms. Really, what were the reforms that they had in mind for SIS? You know what I mean? What kind of a state intelligence service really is appropriate for now?
Beyond the name change.
That's it, beyond the name change.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So more of a positive identity than the negative. I make a distinction between the positive, what I do, and the negative stuff. Oh, now they do not torture people anymore. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's really easy, to be quite honest to them.
I mean, it's a kind of reorientation that was needed. That was, if you read the recommendations, that they need to realize that they're serving the people, not whoever is the head of state. That is not their job, and their job is not to arrest people who might have said something naughty about the head of state and so on. I remember being in a house in London Corner, and a joke was made in the sitting room, and I saw people looking at me as if, why did you make that joke? And then somebody called me to the kitchen and said, be careful, that guy works for the NIA. This was back in the late 90s. I was like, what? So you can't even joke in your own house? But that's how things were.
Absolutely.
And we're not there anymore. And that's a big thing. I mean, we might look at it like a small thing, but it's a big thing.
Oh, it is a massive thing. Because we remember, in public, you'll say something, but then suddenly you'll be looking over your shoulder.
Like, did anybody hear
Well,
that?
I think the coming of the TRRC also, it's very significant, because it will tell you, no matter how you run, one day you will be brought to book.
But, you know...
Yes. So we have Alaji Jallo on the line.
Okay.
Our regional correspondent in the URR. Alaji Jallo, good morning. Welcome to QTV this morning.
Good morning, Balde. Thank you for having me this morning, and thank you, all of you.
Have you cleared your farm already?
But to tell you, in fact, I'm right at my farm. I'm doing the clearing as we speak.
So there you go.
That's interesting, Alaji. Well, I mean, I learned that there was a heavy downpour in Basse a few days back.
Yeah, absolutely. On the 27th, it was when we received our first rain in Basse. It went with a very heavy storm, heavy wind. So far, thank God we have not received any information in regards to destruction from the area. But the 27th, we had a very, very good rain. And yesterday again, it continues yesterday, and it rained heavily in Basse. So
oh, wow.
It's a signal to say that we are into the rainy season. The rainy season has started. So I know farmers, some of them is going to be a surprise to them because the time that it came, many have not cleared or prepared their land. But I know this is going to be a signal for farmers to get to their fields to prepare them before the rains. But as we speak right now, the place is so cloudy, and we can receive the third rain in any moment from now. Because right now the place is cloudy. It can rain any moment, any moment.
Well, considering...
It's good news for you, because you've been saying, Balde was saying that, growing up as a young man, and of course he grew up in Basse, so perhaps it's not strange that Basse has had this rainfall, but he was saying that the rains were late.
Yes.
He said usually by May the rains have started coming, and where we are, we haven't had a drop of rain, you may want to know. So when we hear about heavy downpour in Basse, we think, which country is he talking about? But it's the same Gambia, but it just shows you how different conditions are in various parts of the country. So you said there hasn't been any destruction as far as you're aware, no injury and so on. And when you say heavy, has there been any flooding in any parts of the region?
Well, we have not received any information in regards to flooding. The reason why we say it's heavy because it came with a strong wind,
right.
And also there was a downpour within Basse. Actually, in Basse, that's what we can talk about. As long as we are here, we have not yet received that information.
Okay.
But like you said in your statement, in fact, last year, a similar thing happened. So this should not be a surprise to the people of this region because the rainy season, most of the time, it fluctuates. It comes. Last year we received it came on the 19th of May. We can remember that. Yeah. And this time round, it is coming around this end. So farmers should have known that very well. It can rain anymore because if you look at the temperature from April to now, the temperature in Basse was extremely very high. We have recorded up to 47 degrees Celsius in Basse. So that's a signal to show that the rainy season is not far away. In fact, as we speak, Mr. Ade, right now the place is very cloudy and the rain can come any moment.
Well, Alaji, I mean, I hope it wouldn't be a surprise again to the people of Basse because previously the floods, I mean, the previous floods that we've seen in Basse, I mean,
and that's
it's due to lack of, I mean, early planning, the National Disaster Management Agency, and the Weather Focus Department. So I think engaging those people too would be very significant.
Balde, like you said, I think so far so good. I think people must have to brace up for such things because the first signal that we have seen right now, it's indicating that there's going to be heavy rain this year. We are not praying for floods or disasters, but it's unavoidable. But so as long as the signals have shown, everybody has to brace up for that. And the institutions or the departments concerned need to look into some of these things because some of these disasters or the floods, you see, they are man-made because people settle in their waterways and so on and so forth. So all these things could have been averted, So I believe we did not pray for it, like I said, but it is possible. Obviously, it's possible and it can happen. Considering the first rain that rained yesterday, day before yesterday, and yesterday is so heavy, and if this continues, obviously there's going to be flood.
Right.
Alaji Jallo, thank you very much for talking to us on QTV this morning.
Well, thank you, Balde. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alaji.
Alaji Jallo there, our regional correspondent in the URR.
Yeah, and as Alaji says there, I think we should be getting used to, because we saw the newspaper headline, I think you were the one who brought it to my desk, Balde, which said, expect beyond normal rainfall, heavier than normal rainfall. Well, that heavier than normal is now becoming the normal because we've had that for the last 3 or 4 years.
Exactly.
So it is now normal to get heavy rainfall rather than heavier than normal.
Well, I mean, areas where we experienced flooding last year and previous years, I think it's important for them to at least prepare to know, okay, maybe we should try and clear other waterways at some point to prevent, another flooding again.
Yeah, and for me, some of the gutters that I see that should have been cleared because they were clogged up and then the water had nowhere to run, so it ran onto the roads. Sorry to say, I drive past them and they haven't been cleared this year, so I'm not sure how prepared we are or how serious we are about these things.
Haven't seen NRA doing anything when it comes to
there might have been, but
preparation.
It doesn't mean they're not doing it.
We invited them.
Right.
I mean, at some point they said they are ready to do certain things to prevent certain areas from flooding.
Maybe we should ask them.
The National Disaster Management. I mean, we don't have to wait until when it's too late. We start taking action.
I mean, what I would say is that for some of the areas along the Bertel-Harding Highway, the kind of newly built, they've built what seem to be proper drainage and gutters, which weren't there before, which always perplexed me every time I drove past. I'm like, why are there no gutters? Why is there no? But they seem to have built those now. So it will be interesting to see when the rains come, as inevitably they will. And Alaji was talking about how cloudy. It's been very cloudy the last 2 or 3 days down here, but we haven't had the rain yet, but it's coming any minute now. It will be interesting to see how the terrain copes with a heavy downpour, based on the fact that in some of the areas now they do have drainage and gutters on both sides of the road, which weren't there before.
My main concern is Banjul. I mean, at some point, at a particular time, we all, need to accept there will be flooding, and the residents of certain areas in Banjul accept, okay, we need to move at this time of the rainy season. Mr. Mboj, I think there should be permanent planning. Something should be put to prevent that.
Oh, Mr. Bali, there should be all sorts of things, really. But yes, we don't have them, yes. And some areas will be more hard hit than others. It's just unfair. It's just that often you do find that where people are most hard hit, they're the least, really, to be able to do much for themselves, to rescue themselves. They depend on a package. Usually the poor, really. The rich will never live in areas like that, or they move away. So this is really the difficulty. And then you talk about NRA or any of these agencies, but just look around. Does it look like, we've been talking about every year, do you realize we talk about the same things every year? But do you get any sense that we have an idea of what we can do, and then we are actually moving? So we always appeal to mitigate. So we always sort of appealing to people should act sensibly, to this sort of moral injunctions instead of a proper public policy, as it were, that works. So this is really what the issue is. It seems to me that we are overwhelmed by really what we need to do.
Well, I think, I don't know how far have they engaged Alpha Robinson. He was on this program, and brilliant ideas when it comes to the flooding in Banjul and the structures that should be built to make sure, for us to prevent this. I don't know if his knowledge is utilized or not.
Banjul is a difficult one because it's at or below sea level. So when it rains, of course, the oceans also swell and rise. So you have a combination of two things. You have the rain on the land, and of course the swell from the sea, from the Atlantic Ocean. So the rainfall has got nowhere to go. It's right there. It's a very difficult one. It's a very difficult one. But yeah, I've said it many times. The Dutch worldwide have got the reputation for being the best at kind of dealing with this. They call them in all these countries to go and help. I don't know whether we've engaged the Dutch to come and have a look at Banjul and say, how can we help to mitigate? But or Alpha Robinson, and we might call him again and say, have they engaged with you? But we need to do something.
Banjul is an endangered city, isn't
it? It is. It's on the list of endangered capital cities. Top 10 capital cities that are endangered.
Yes. So, Mr. Mboj, it's high time to say bye, adieu, tata, to you. Well, thank you very much for reviewing some of the stories with us, Mr. Mboj. We kept you, more. We are not expecting to go this long, but That is what it is.
And we missed some cracking stories, but another time.
Another time. Yes. Our sponsors, Lido Olinda Cow Milk. If you want to conquer your day, you want to feel active the whole day, Lido Coffee. It's the coffee for you. You can find it in all corner shops, supermarkets, mini markets across the country. We'll take a short break. After the break, the last segment of this program. We'll be back.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. Go, ebe dawa full network suda tili QCell. Ni lafta diamla wati jamala mune diata QCell. Most reliable network jumala geta wati QCell. Wo quality man nyon soda jam pona manke QCell. Hanibe wuloni farole kono walante be bakono jala fayola network ko se taria QCell suñu boss. Ñu fi njëkka indi 3G ñu delu taxi 4G plus and now we bring you 5G. 5G. First and only 5G provider. Suñu boss. Itella follow adi doron nesa keno. Suñu boss. Gambia bela nyon tawo fele QCell. Suñu boss. Ko fasunta buka busi QCell. Suñu boss. Itella multi milka kukutol nati Gambia QCell meta lori la kiliano yele imanyina amanda wala itella ka quality dila dadi ma itelle silo wala wodol mume be keno ma QCell suñu boss QCell suñu boss QCell suñu boss QCell suñu boss connection be bambandi QCell suñu boss QCell most innovative QCell suñu boss.
You asked for it, and QCell is giving it to you with our new and improved Sunyu Bundle Mega Promo. Now you can get more data at cheaper prices. Buy any of our bundle packages and enjoy massive discounts. Dial *303# and enjoy browsing on the network with the biggest coverage. Buy a 20 megabytes data bundle for as low as $7 and 50 bottles today, or purchase bigger bundles up to 20 gigabytes. Yes, that's right, 20 gigabytes of data at your fingertips. With our mega promo bundles, you can browse more, chat longer, and stay connected on the go, anytime, anywhere. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply. Q Money is back again with an offer of a lifetime. You can now buy Sunyu Bundle data packages directly from your Q Money wallet for half the price. Get all Sunyu Bundle packages from 20 megabytes to 20 gigabytes and enjoy the biggest internet data discount in the market. Just dial *323# now, choose option 4 and start buying your favorite Sunyu Bundle package half the price, only with Q Money. Pay less and stay connected with the most reliable internet service in the Gambia. For more information, call 133 Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Never before In the Gambia, QCell is giving you an unbeatable offer. Activate our 5G network on your 5G-enabled phone and enjoy free internet for 7 days. Yes, you heard that right. Activate QCell's 5G on your phone and experience what true 5G internet feels like. Get your QCell SIM cards activated today at the following care centers: Banjul, Senegambia, Brikama, Bursubi Turntable, Bakau Airport, and Kairaba Avenue headquarters. Rush now and be part of the future with QCell's 5G. Free internet for 7 days only with QCell. For more information, call QCell Customer Care on 111. QCell Sunyubus. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply. Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience. Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future, tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Before the break, we said we'll take a short break, but we took a longer break. We are apologizing for that. We are trying to sort one or two things. But welcome back, viewers, wherever you're watching us from. This is QTV This Morning, and we are almost at the dying minutes of this program. Now, let's talk about menstrual hygiene, which is very significant, and we need to you know, be enlightened and enlighten the public about this. At this point, I have the honor to invite Fabian in a Grand Sanya. That's a beautiful name. I love the name.
Name.
It's a wonderful name.
In fact, you don't even need to introduce her. She's such a regular on QTV that most of the viewers know her.
Exactly.
But nonetheless.
Allow me to use this opportunity to sing a birthday song for her. Today is her birthday. Fabian's birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Thank you so
May you
much.
live long.
Amen.
May you have all the things that you aspire for.
Amen.
May you be here to guide the young ones,
Amen.
because we need people like you so that they can understand where they are going, to support them, to build that confidence in them.
Right.
So on that note, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Yes, you are a family, and you know, all the time you use your time to come. Even yesterday I called her at a very you know, late hour, and she was able to make it today on this program.
Why did you call her late?
Well, I mean, I was busy doing one or two things. Then we have Mr. Barry as well. Mr. Barry, how are you, Mbata?
I'm fine, thank you.
These are the conventional fullers. You know, the conventional fullers. So please take us through the menstrual day.
So, which was yesterday. It was commemorated yesterday.
Yes.
World Health.
So as we know, thank you very much, QTV. Anytime call upon, I'm always grateful to come and share my knowledge with the viewers as well as the listeners on the radio when it comes to the health and well-being of our youths, especially the adolescents, both in and out of school in our country. So yesterday we celebrated World Menstruation and Hygiene Day, but you know, menstruation is the normal flow, it's a natural flow every month that a woman or a girl must experience once that person reaches the age of puberty. You know, when the age of puberty is around 10, the average is 10, but some they do have early puberty. At the age of 8, you see a girl seeing her period.
Oh.
And you also have late puberty up to age of 18. You see some people also see their period. So once the flow starts at the age of 10, let's say average, and every month you must say it until once reach menopause or once is pregnant. So you know, every month, once you reach puberty, every month the girl must see her period. Every month as well, once person reach at the age of puberty, the lining, the uterus is prepared for pregnancy. Because as far as you're seeing your period, you must prepare for pregnancy. So if there is no pregnancy, that's the lining of the uterus. It breaks and turns to blood. That's the bleeding that happens. So it happens to every woman on different cycles. Some they have 28 days, that's the average cycle, and some they have the 21 days, that's the shorter cycle, and some they have the 35 days, that's the longer cycle. But yesterday, as it's World Menstruation Day, 28th of May is celebrated. It is used as World Menstruation Day because the significance of the 28. You have the 28-day cycle for a woman, and that's the average, and you have the 5 days flowing. That's the 5th month of the year is May. So the 5 days of flowing, that's the average. Though some they do bleed for 2 days, some they do bleed for 7 days, but the average is 5 days. That's why every year, in commemoration of World Menstruation Day, the cycle and the flow makes it 28 days of the cycle and the 5th day of the month.
Yes. And that is represented by
the bracelet.
This bracelet.
Yes,
so if you could just explain to the viewers, both in English and in Wolof, please.
Yes. So you can see the bracelet. This, if you see it, it's 28 that are here.
28.
28 are here. If you count it, you see this 5th, as I mentioned, is the average, the bleeding period. That's the flowing period.
Okay.
And yes, so these ones are telling you that you're clean.
28.
So 28 days.
Okay.
Yes, 5 days of period flowing, and also the other ones are the ribbon that the person is clean. Yes, but that's why the significance of it. For those who cannot calculate, if you have this, it always tells you the first day of your period. Some do mix it. They don't understand how to calculate their cycle. That's why some people, they become pregnant without knowing.
Oh.
Yes, because it needs calculation to determine your ovulation. Because after menstruation, the next 14 days is ovulation.
Oh.
Yes, but we have what we call the pre-ovulation. that is the 12th day, and the post-ovulation, that is the 16th day. But the most fertile period is the 14th day.
The 14th
that
day.
woman or any girl can become pregnant once there is meeting, that is the egg and the sperm mix. Equals to pregnancy, and that's a baby.
So like any wolof please.
Okay, léegi jërëjëf suñu mbokk yu ñoo déglu ñu ngi sargal déema nag tamit déema mooy World Menstruation Day mooy mbaax boo xam ne jigéen ak xale yëpp dina ko mën a gis weer bu nekk su xale bi tolloo si ati fukki at. am na yenn xale yu dee toll si at juróom-ñetti at sax ñu door di gis sañ mbaax. léegi da ngaa gis ne xale bu toll si fukki at ba nga dem mag bi toll li ñu ooyee ménopause at yi 50 years waaye am na ñoo xam ne early ménopause lañ nekk tamit 45 dañ dee door di ménopause waaye tamit ñu sargal mbiri démba bi 28 days mooy ñaar fukki fan ak juróom-ñetta léegi dañoo lii moom ay lam la daal comme caxala ni ay per moo fa nekk. per yi
adjust the microphone.
per yi waaw per yi moom ñaar fukki per ak juróom-ñetta la dangaa gis ne am na bu weex am na bu juróomi fan bi mooy wonee ne jigéen bi wal naa gis mbaax bi juróomi fan waaye am na ñu dee gis sañ mbaax ñaari fan ñetti fan ñeneen ñu koy gis juróom-ñaari fan waaye per bi soo ko amee dina la mën a jàppale pour nga xam nooy compter ak tamit time booy set ak time boo xam ne yaa ngay gis deret boo xam ne si yow la bokk yow jigéen gi waluñ koo siilu waluñ koo ragal waluñ koo use as a stigma or a tabou ne lii waluñ ko waxtaanee moo tax nga gis ne lii juróomi fan la kon nu ma ko waxee waaye tamit juróomi fan boo gis sa fóot ba pare am na yeneen bés yooyu compter fii mooy juróom-ñaari fan bi ba juróom-ñetti fan ba juróom-ñeenti fan dina wane tu time boobu noonu nag yaa ngi sa yaram mu ngi pare pour jël biir parce que weer bu nekk jigéen doore di gis mbaax di nga pare pour jël biir so biir amutee si la nen bi de toj mu seey nekk deret waaw loolu waaye gis waaye calculation la laajte yeneen duñ dee mën a calculer nag waaye tamit time is set mun ngaa set ba juróomi fan mu tegu ci rek nga sa yaram bi parewaat pour jël biir bu dee góor ak jigéen dañ tëdda ba seexoo biir xëj na ci diggante fukki fan ba juróom benn fan moo tax ñuy jóg nag di sargal nag ñoo xam ne xamuñ mbiri mbaax ñoo xam ne duñ dee waxtaanee mbiri mbaax ñoo xam ne dañ dee teg mbaax asaay ne lii tabu la aada la wala ñoo waxtaanee ak ñoom waaye ma lu ma dee wax mooy soo waxtaanee mbiri mbaax foog jigéen gis ko képp koo xam ne pare nga pour am doom foog nga gis ko waajur yi duñ dee waxtaan ak seen njaboot yi mbiri mbaax waaye tamit bugg nañoo xam tamit am seen njaboot yaa ngi gis seen mbaax di nga gis ne ñàkkam xam mbaax bi create awareness bi moo tax ñu jóg pour waxtaan ak askan gi ne waajur bu nekk wal ngaa bàyyi xel sa njaboot waajur bu nekk wal ngaa xam kañ la sa njaboot di gis mbaa nga xam ne suba beneen tolof du la ca mën a fekk so dañoo sargal di create awareness about menstruation to also to minimize the stigma and taboos that surrounds menstruation, to encourage community dialogue so that we can talk about it, so that people can know, because these are things that we don't talk about. And young girls, they really want to know. If you can imagine, some girls are in our schools, in our communities, they don't even know about their cycle. Some women as well, they don't even know about their cycle. That's why we're encouraging everyone to start communicating. ñu ñaan ñëpp nag ñu doon di waxtaanee mbiri mbaa loolu dafa bokk si jigéen loolu loo xam natural flow la boo xam ne nekku na jigéen rek de even men even boys they have to come on board góor sax dañoo waxtaanee parce que menstruation daf dee mën a ànd ak loo xam ne ñu ko ooyee period pain period cramps loo xam ne daf dee mën a ñeene dañ dee mën a sona understand so but in our society if someone is seeing her period you will see a man will start even bullying or even...
I think we should bring in Mr. Barry here.
Barry, yes.
Otherwise, people will think we just brought him for decoration.
No, Barry will talk about the game.
Because time might be against us.
Yeah, so...
Yes,
yeah, Mr. Barry.
All right, good morning and hi to everyone watching. So basically, I am proud to talk about menstruation as a boy, as a man, because I learned a lot and I have seen what we can do as men. We can really support women who are going through this. So to talk about the game, this is called the Fune board game. It is designed in a way that it is competitive, educative, and entertaining while playing. So the Fune board game helps people to talk about taboo topics or things that are stigmatized, things that are avoided by people.
I can lift
so
up the
it
board
can
game.
be played by women, men, girls, people of all age and gender. So you can see it is having cards, and this is the dice, we have chess to make it interesting along the line. So all these cards are having questions. And for these other cards, it is having questions on the menstruation. So you can see when you pick up a card, it is asking you a question. And when a player answers any question, all those playing happen to learn through it. So it is an interesting game, and it is a racing game. So it has rules, that is negative rules, it has positive rules, and it has also neutral rules.
So can you give us an example of a question and an answer?
All right, so you can see, so this question is saying, can I use different types of sanitary products during my period? Then it is asking either yes or no.
And we have some.
So if one answers, then this is the question and answer booklet. So this book contains all the questions. You just read on top here, you see this one is what? Q107. Then you refer to the book.
So you go for answer 107 here.
Then it will provide the answer for you.
And it says yes,
yeah, that
you can use different types of sanitary products together, or alternatively during your period, e.g. panty liners can be used together with tampons or with menstrual cups as a backup.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
So you can see this question card is having 3 here. So all the question cards will have a number, but different. Others will have 1. That is the points you can move. So if this is having 3, if one answers, you move 3 times. 3 points.
Oh, you move. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see it is colored. So the green colors on the game shows the positive rules. You can see if one happens to
land
answer, all right, I have 3 here. If I answer, I land here. This is telling me to move 2 steps ahead.
Right.
So that is to make it interesting along the line. So if one happens to land on the red points, that is a negative. It affects the player.
So my main interest is this. Let's talk
these
about
products here.
Yeah. So anyway, yesterday also we organized like 20 schools. They came on board, you know, to in commemoration of the day about menstrual hygiene. And there are winning schools. They played amongst themselves.
It was competitive.
Senior, secondary school. It was highly competitive,
Yes.
and they came up with different educational materials. Yes. So when it comes to the day, that's like the menstrual hygiene day, that brings a lot of advocacy, brings students, brings teachers, bring government, you know, bring the UN, also policymakers to come to advocate about menstrual hygiene day. So now when it comes to our research find that we conducted in our study in 43 schools, it came along and say we have one issue. One of the issues was lack of sanitary pads. And one of the issues also is lack of knowledge about what to use. And some girls also, when they see in their period, it deprives them from going to school because they don't have the products. You know, having sanitary pad is not luxurious. It's just a necessity, and it's very, very important for one to have it. But if you lack the sanitary pad, because most girls, they use the disposable, because we have different types. You saw the question there. You can use different sanitary
that's
products.
The one, I mean,
yes. So this is what we mostly people use, but it's full with chemicals, and as well as like it is not used and reused. It's not sustainable as well. It brings a lot of problems. Most guys, they use this. Yes, people, they use it. It depends on how you are living with. If you can afford it, you can get it. But you should know that there are times that you have to remove this. Because in period flowing, you have people who flow for heavy flowers. When you have heavy bleeding, you cannot use this for more than 1 hour. You have to remove it and dispose it gently. And also you have medium flowers. You should not use this more than 2 hours. You understand? And if you have light flowing, you can, maximum time that someone can use sanitary pad is 3 hours. But some students, they go to school without even knowing. They can use this from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You understand? And it causes health hazard. You know? And once they use it, if they have to dispose it, they use it and just flush it. It can cause blockage.
I was going to say.
Yes. It causes
because, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that because there was an occasion when I had to go and use a lady's toilet because the men's toilet was locked, and inside there was a sign saying do not dispose of sanitary pads down the toilet.
Right. So that's why with our research findings, you know, when you do research, you have to go further and explain to the people, the participants, about the research findings, and they come up with recommendations. So those recommendations provided us to start making this reusable sanitary pads. You know, this is one user, one should use it, and this is very eco-friendly. it's cost effective, and it's also sustainable. You know, when we are doing this, you know, we prepared also the light flowers and also the heavy flowers. So you use this, and most students, most girls, most parents, most teachers and principals, they are advocating for this because their soccer are all black.
Okay, let me ask you
so
a question.
We use this naturally. Yes. Everything is available at the market.
That's the point. Everything, because most people know I can go into a chemist or a pharmacy and I can get the other one. Where do I get this one?
Exactly. These ones we have trained. We have in partnership with Girl Sprite. In partnership with Girl Sprite, lady from the Girl Sprite, she's a nurse entrepreneur. She went for studies in Kenya and then came up with this idea, and we collaborated. You understand? Based on what we are doing, we are all colleagues. So these ones we 100% cotton at the market. You buy the wax, that is cotton wax. You buy the natural cotton at the market as well. And then there are what is inside is a towel. You have like also heavy. We have different layers: heavy, light, and medium. You understand? We sew different patterns. So the towel absorbs the blood. You also have the leak-proof materials. You understand? That causes that you will not even stain. So once you use this, it is also kept in a bag. There are 2 bags that are sewn. We sew this. The students sew it. The schools sew also this. Like schools like Gambia High, they have produced about 2,000 of
Barry
this.
sews this.
Right? Mr. Barry also sew it because we trained him. He took the initiative that he wants to be trained because he normally goes to the provinces, you know, to support other girls and other schools as well. He was trained. He is a trainer. He has trained about. We went to 6 schools this semester, last semester. So we trained about 6 schools. They called us and we trained them because we want them to sew what they use and use what they sew. Understand? We train also the special needs schools, the community people as well. So you can buy, once we train you, tell you can buy. They even, once they build their capacity, they become entrepreneurs of themselves. They prepare and also sell. Like Girls Pride, they are selling this. Understand? Other institutions are also selling it, like Presentation Girls High School. They are also making this. Schools are providing it based on their students. You know, normally they are trained on how to make boy short or baby dress. Now we say, why can't they do this? Some of the schools, grade 9, most schools, students, even yesterday I was informed, they use this, they saw this and submitted it as their project work for their grade 9
Wow,
exams.
nice.
Yes. So it is made of different. You can see there are other ones just like pants. So it is sewn inside. You need not. So what you need to do, because obviously when you wear a pant, you have to wash it. So if you stain it, you just have to wash it clean and then dry it, either under the sun or inside your toilet. Then from there, once it is dry, you just take an iron and iron everything. Iron it everything and then keep it for your next usage. So it's more sustainable, it's eco-friendly and cost-effective. So we have different types that we are advocating for. That's why we have to advocate the use of reusable synthetic art, because it is more sustainable. Some students, if they don't have this, they can use this. Last week I was in another school. After training, explained to them about menstruation. When I showed this, I told them that most of you are using cloth. So some of them, they came and approached me. Say, Auntie, can I have some of these pads? I told them, what do you use? Say, we use our normal wrappers. We cut them and use them. You understand? So you see that, like that school, we will go and train them because they are in need of these things. So this is like, you know, finally, time bi jot na bomba bi duga na legi ñu dog ñu. So finally loo am rek lu gàtt. Lu ma am lu gàtt mooy comme lu ma doon wax ci taamale bi rek yii nii ay sanitary pad la mbaax boo xam ne jigéen na ko gis te lu moo use mooy ñeneen dañ dee mën a use lii ñeneen tamit ñu mën a use lii waaye bii moo gën a sustainable. So ñu ngey ñaan waajur bi ak government bi Ministry of Education ak Health ñu jàppale xale yi ñu jàngal leen loo xam ne dañ ko mën a use. Thank you very much, viewers. This is all we have until we come here again. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.